Now, it would be fair to ask, what significance does all this have, all these critiques that I'm making of this particular book here? Especially when considering the tremendous literary and even philosophical and transcendent value that the Gita holds. A hermeneutic approach is fair enough, which is what I've been doing, but why the deconstruction? Well, leaving aside the philosophical issue of a belief system claiming to have exclusive truth without fulfilling the burden of proof, there is a more practical issue of the practical application of the Gita in society, within India and without. Now, outside of India on the global stage, you have the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, sometimes shortened to ISKCON, but most people know this as the Hare Krishnas, the Hare Krishna movement. Technically, it does qualify as a cult in the modern sense of the word, in the negative sense of the word. Founded in 1966 by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is now deceased, but he's the translator and the editor of these free Bhagavad-Gītās that the Hare Krishnas give out. In fact, that's how I got that book. You might even remember the Hare Krishnas being made fun of in the airplane movies.
Would you like to make a donation?
No thanks, we gave it the office.
What the hell happened to you?
Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna Paramatma. Hare Krishna Bhakti-Stewart.
So open. So open.
Hello, I'm your doctor. Oh, no, I know I've got the hair, but I'm not one of you, people. Hello, how are you? Well, I have been known to timbre. After our tambourine jam, they gave me some literature, but I'm not the type that's easily sucked in by that stuff.
Morning, Dr. Dorian.
Praise be to Krishna. Damn it.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
His Divine Grace is the author of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is printed in many languages in many nations with, quote, more than 50 million copies sold, unquote, to promote ISKCON worldwide. For many years they have been the subject of scandal, exposés, and court cases. Though the pun on Khan was presumably not intended when the name was chosen, the group's confidence has long been compromised. However, their book is used to recruit new members all the time. Again, that's how I got that book. According to this author's reading, the alleged unethical activities of ISKCON are in no way based on the actual content of the Bhagavad Gita. There's really nothing in there that justifies what the Hare Krishna movement actually does to its recruits. And so, therefore, it can be argued that even bringing up the Hare Krishna movement is neither here nor there. So, you can take it if you want. If not, we'll throw it aside and move on. Either way, far more people embrace the Bhagavad Gita within India than without. And these people are not part of the Hare Krishna movement, although there's maybe about 1 million members or something like that of the movement in India. There's millions or more who are not members of the Hare Krishna movement, but who are devotees of Hare Krishna alone, Krishna himself alone. Either way, far more people embrace the Bhagavad Gita within the borders of India than without. As seen above, the Bhagavad Gita is one of the most influential scriptures to mandate the caste system. This is so entrenched in Indian society that the caste system is practiced today, despite the official eradication of the caste system and its practices by the Constitution of India in 1950, and also by the Untouchability Practices Act of 1955 and other legislations. The untouchables, who are usually referred to as the Dalits in India, are the lowest caste, numbering about 167 million people, making up roughly 1/6 of India's population. As late as 2009, the George Washington International Law Review reported that the persistence of, quote, challenges in terminating the caste system, discrimination, and human rights of the Dalits and lower caste members of India, unquote. In 2010, the International Journal on Minority and Group Rights reported that, quote, despite constitutional and legislative prohibitions of untouchability and discrimination on grounds of caste, they continue to suffer a caste-based discrimination and violence, unquote. 2011, the Chronicle of Higher Education reported that, quote, prevalent discrimination and verbal and physical abuse, unquote, against Dalits in Indian universities. Quote, at least 18 suicides by Dalit students in over the past 4 years, unquote, and that, quote, a disproportionate number of dropouts from universities are Dalits, even though higher education is their only hope of rising socially, unquote. Another study shows wage discrepancy between castes. The figures listed in the study indicate that those of higher caste earn more annually while working fewer hours than those of lower castes. Human rights activist and filmmaker Stalin K, as he calls himself, has made 2 documentaries detailing the realities of untouchability in India. Lesser Humans, released in 1998, focused on the disgusting work that only Dalits perform. The second film, India Untouched, Stories of the People at Park, was released in 2007, quote, to all those who deny the existence of untouchability, unquote. It was filmed in a tour around India, stopping at 8 cities and a number of villages. The film shows that Indian society still practices the caste system, often without so much as thinking about it. All common practices of untouchability were shown everywhere in this film, from refusing Dalits private or public transportation to refuting them entry into temples.
எல்லாரும் வருவாங்க அந்த கோயிலுக்கு
எல்லா பேரும் வருவாங்க
எஸ்சிக்காரங்க வருவாங்க
வருவாங்க ஏசி வருவாங்க உள்ளே போக மாட்டாங்க வந்து குன்றல் பூசிக்குவாங்க உடல் அள்ளி கொடுப்பாங்க அள்ளி கொடுப்பாங்க பூசிக்குவாங்க இதை தைரியத்தில் காணிக்க கோயில் काफी 4 दरवाजे रखे थे चारों वर्णों के लिए चारों जातियों के लिए तो जो सिख धर्म है हाँ जी उसमें भी जातियाँ हैं
એ લોકોને આભડછેટ લાગે એટલે અમારે જવાય નહીં.
The practice was everywhere, or is everywhere. A few interviewees discussed cases of rape.
जैसे एक आदमी कपड़ा डाले
और हाथ बांध के आँख बंद के जैसा
mutilation, and other forms of violence.
पहले के दुख आता था हमको लगता है कि ये धरती तुम फाड़ जाओ जो हमसे चाहिए इसलिए सोचे जो आदमी ने बलात्कार किया हमारे साथ हम उसको बदला लेंगे हम घर बना लिए हैं बीस वर्ष की लड़की के शादी करेंगे हम उसके साथ हम बदला लेंगे
घट ही आमद भी सिंह जड़े घट बहुत घट साड़ी कौम में बहुत बाटा वखरा रखा हुआ சட்டப்படி எங்களை ஊருக்குள்ளே போட்டு வரக்கூடாது கடைக்கு போகும்போது அந்த தூண்கள் இருந்துச்சுல அது பக்கத்தில் நான் அவுத்து வச்சுருக்கேன் நான் அதை அவுத்து வைக்காமல் வந்திருந்தேனாக்கா எனக்கு அடி தான்.
The film also shows that children are typically arranged in classrooms according to caste.
કોણ છું અચૂક માનતે
टीचर
आप लोगों ने सर को कहा कि हम लोग आगे पीछे बैठेंगे सर ने अपने हिसाब से बुलाया
अपने हिसाब से हम लोग को कहता है
That Dalit children are not allowed to eat with or play with other children during recess. In fact, some Dalit children were shown that were made to clean bathrooms during recess rather than play.
બધા છોકરાનો વારો હોય ஏன்டா பள்ளிக்கூடம் படிக்க மாட்டேன்னா ஆனால் எங்கள் டெய்லி கப்பு ஸ்கூல்
Dalit students face academic discrimination from the earliest grades through college level. One lower caste doctor explain how despite the fact that his official rank in his university hospital was second only to the chief surgeon, he was treated as if he was subordinate to doctors that were actually underneath his authority, but are of higher caste. Commenting on this, a Brahmin famous for breaking the anti-untouchability laws explains,
उसको अधिकार नहीं है। अब वो कहे चपरासी हम यहाँ पर 40 साल से नौकरी कर रहे हैं और हमारा लड़का हाई कोर्ट का जज बन गया है, इसलिए हम इस कोर्ट में आज बैठेंगे, उसको अधिकार नहीं ना है। अब वो जब तक ऑन ड्यूटी चपरासी रहेगा चपरासी ही रहेगा, वो जब तक धरातल पर शूद्र रहेगा शूद्र ही रहेगा, उसका परिवर्तन नहीं हो सकता है।
and then the interviewer asks,
चाहे वो कितना भी पढ़ ले,
पढ़ ही नहीं सकता, उसको अधिकार ही नहीं, पढ़ेगा ही नहीं, पढ़ नहीं सकता, उसके समझ नहीं आ सकता है, विद्वान नहीं हो सकता है। अब देखो भाई सुनो, लड़ाई करा दोगे तो।
The film and the articles cited here in my paper that I'm mentioning are by no means thorough or conclusive. This is inescapable, it seems, though, because, quote, no national studies have been done to determine the magnitude of caste-related discrimination in India, unquote. The assertion of Krishna's supremacy made in the Bhagavad-Gītā has been put into perspective here, hopefully. It has also been argued here that the caste system is harmful to Indian society. It's been shown here also that the caste system has its roots in the Vedic culture, and that the Bhagavad-Gītā is arguably the strongest scriptural rooting force of the caste system. There is no denying the beauty of the Bhagavad-Gītā. It is praised alike by Thoreau, Emerson, Carl Jung, Aldous Huxley, Hermann Hesse, and the dubious Aleister Crowley, Robert, Destroyer of Worlds, Oppenheimer, and even Gandhi, who nonetheless struggled to eradicate untouchability. As it has been shown here, its claim to be the exclusive method of attainment can be dismissed, and its insistence on the necessity of the caste system as part of a spiritual life should be, in the very least, questioned.